Shalom, shalom. This is Brother Anal with Great Millstone Borderland Saints of El Paso, Texas. Welcome to another video. And as always, before I get started, I want to give all honor, all praise, and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rekak Wadash. Also, double honors to the head apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone who teach and who rule well. Peace, blessings, and safety to all sincere Akim. Keep believing, keep teaching, and keep preaching, whether they hear or whether they forbear. Now we're going to be taking our lesson here today, and we're going to go into the book of Jude, all right, and start there, and we'll see what the Lord has to say. Hopefully this lesson will be edification to the 144,000, hopefully elect of the house of David. All right, and it reads, Jude, first chapter, first verse. Jude, the servant of Yahweh Shai and brother of James, to them that are sanctified by Yahweh the Father, and preserved in Yahweh Shai, and called. Mercy unto you, and peace and love be multiplied. So this is for those of you who are called. Okay, called to do what? Called to preach the gospel. Okay, that's what the Lord told us to do, told the servants to go out, you see, and do the work. All right, that means to go out and preach the gospel. And everyone that heareth and believeth shall be saved. Everyone that do not hear shall be damned. Okay, that means they're going to be destroyed. So if you're not listening to what the instructions the Lord is giving you, then you're going to be destroyed. It's just that simple. But the Lord has chosen some of you, the elect, 144,000 elect of the house of David, and the 1/3 of you who are scattered throughout daughter of Babylon and throughout the four corners of the earth. There will be those of you who will hear, and you will be saved because you believe and you will move in faith, all right, in Yahweh Shai. And that's how you will be saved, through Yahweh Shai, all right? And it goes on to say, mercy unto you, and peace and love be multiplied. Beloved, when I gave all diligence to write unto you of the common salvation, it was needful for me to write unto you and exhort ye that ye should earnestly contend for the faith which was once delivered unto the saints. All right, so that's what we're talking about, that faith, the faith of who? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that seed line. All right, mainly the faith of Abraham. An example was set through Abraham, the father of faith, all right, that we do what the Lord tell us to do, whether we understand it or not. All right, stick to the scriptures and just do it. Don't try to figure it all out. You don't know everything. There's too much for you to know everything. But the Lord do want you to study the Holy Scriptures and get to know the Lord as much as possible. So that means reading the whole Bible. All right, you want to be in it day and night, meditating day and night, you see. So you want to be studying, worshiping the Lord, getting to know the Lord. Okay, this is how, as I often say, you become a friend to the Lord when you're doing his will. You see, so we want to be friends to the Lord. Not only that, we want to be servants to the Lord. And not only that, we want to be soldiers of the Lord. See, so we have quite a few hats to fill, you see. Then we also want to be prophets. We want to prophesy. Then we want to be doers of the word, all right, worshiping the Lord in truth and in holiness and in righteousness. All right, so we got a big job to do, and that means being involved constantly, daily, day and night, thinking about this gospel, listening to the videos, studying, all right, and then hearing from righteous preachers. So when we do that, it says, the Holy Scripture said, please the Lord to save man through the foolishness of preaching. All right, I love to get on the videos and sit down in front of the TV and listen to the apostles because they have experience, some 40 years of experience of studying the Holy Scriptures. And some things you'll pick up if you just listen, you see, because they explain it to you. They'll lay it out for you, all right? So it's like a roadmap, okay, to become the elect. And that's what you want. So that's how we learn, by reading the whole Bible, getting a general understanding of it, then studying. You see, you can study through listening to those videos and hearing through a holy, righteous prophet. You see, apostles. The Lord has given us apostles, bishops, elders, and so forth. All right. So we have, and then we have our brethren we can listen to. They can bring out some things that we can learn from one another through experiences and so forth, and gain some wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. So these are the things that we should be doing. It says that we contend for the faith which was once delivered unto the saints. All right. So that those saints are the prophets. Okay. So let's be studying these Holy Scriptures. And then it goes on to say, for there are certain men crept in unawares, who were before of old ordained to this condemnation, ungodly men, turning the grace of our power, Yahweh, into lasciviousness, and denying the only Lord Yahweh and our Lord Yahweh Shai. You see? And so you have men that deny. They deny Yahweh Shai. They'll call on any false god that you bring out, or that people give them, you see, because they're lacking wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Excuse me. Excuse me. You see? So we have to have open ears for the truth, and pray and ask the Lord to give us understanding and in what to hear and what not to hear, to lead us and guide us, as it is written, the footsteps of a good man are ordered by the Lord. So if the Lord is ordering your footsteps, then he's going to bring you the great millstone. All right? Because here we go into deep prophecy. That's what we pride ourselves on, getting into prophecy, being able to show you the things that's coming so that you won't get caught up on what the world is doing, on mockers and scoffers and so forth. You see, because you're going to have that. So Yahweh had the disciples infuse them with his spirit. You see, that's what Yahweh did. He gave it to the disciples, through Yahweh Shai, and then the apostles and so forth. Okay. And so we want to be listening and studying, because there we get the deep secrets of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. And that's what we want to know. We want to know what's going on. So we warn you of things that's coming. Now here we are. Let's go over a little bit over to, we're going to stay in Jude, and we'll come back to the 4th verse. Let me just write that down where I need to pick up at when we come back. But we're going to go over to Daniel, the 7th chapter there, and we're going to read a little bit there, just the way the Lord is moving. All right, to Daniel, the 7th chapter. And we're going to start at, we'll start at the 15th verse. So this is Daniel, the 7th chapter and the 15th verse, and it reads, I, Daniel, was grieved in my spirit in the midst of my body, and the visions of my head troubled me. I came near unto one of them that stood by, and asked him the truth of all this. So he told me and made me know the interpretation of the things. These great beasts, which are four kings, which shall arise out of the earth. So this is what Daniel was giving an interpretation of Nebuchadnezzar's dreams, what he was dreaming. King Nebuchadnezzar, who was a king over Babylon at that time. And he had a dream, and King Nebuchadnezzar was like, I need to find a wise man to tell me what's going on here. And this is the dream. And it says, but the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. Okay, so in the night vision, it says, let's go back a little bit further than that. As a matter of fact, let's go back a little bit further than that. All right. And it says in the, what I'm really looking for is the 23rd verse. This is a scripture that goes in Daniel 7:23. That's it. It says, thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down and break it in pieces. So that's what I wanted. Daniel the 7th chapter. Daniel the 7th chapter, where it goes into the fourth beast, okay, that fourth kingdom. All right, this is the USA that it's talking about. All right, being the greatest of all the four beasts that Daniel had seen, you see, and that Nebuchadnezzar had seen, and Daniel was explaining to him that the fourth beast was a great kingdom, all right, and it was diverse from all the other kingdoms, and it devoured the whole earth, and it shall tread it down and break it in pieces. So what his dreams were dreams of the first beast being Babylon and Assyria. You see, the second beast would have been Persia and the Medes, and the third beast was the Greek Empire, which is a Greek kingdom, and the fourth beast would be the Roman Empire. All right. And so this is the one that we're living in. That's the reason why I'm bringing this one up, because we're living in the last days. We could tell that based off the prophecy of the dreams, because Nebuchadnezzar was asking Daniel, hey, what's the meaning of all of this? You see, so Daniel broke it down to him and told him about that fourth beast. And we're that last beast that the Israelites are suffering through before the Lord bring us into the new heavens and the new earth promised unto Jacob. All right, the first heavens and the first earth was promised unto Esau, you see. And the last one would be, would go to Jacob. But before Jacob goes in his kingdom, there are prophecies that's going to come to pass. And that's what we're going to warn you about here a little bit. And it says in the 25th verse, Daniel 7:25, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws. And that's what he's done. You see, he's changed times and laws. The day usually would start the evening, you see, during the evening time. But now it starts, the day starts at 12 o'clock at night, I believe it is, you see. See, it used to be that we were on a different calendar, you see. We used to be on a lunar calendar, now we're on a Gregorian calendar here. So this beast has changed everything around. The times of when the day starts, when the night starts, and all of that, you see. That's what he's done, changed the laws where a man can marry a man, a dog, a cat, you know, whatever he want to marry. You see, he can marry his horse, his donkey, you see, a monkey, whatever he want to marry, you know. See, he's supposed to be married to a woman. That's what he's supposed to have as wives. But now this devil has changed things where he can make his dog a wife. See what I'm saying? You see, that's what this was talking about, where this devil would change the laws. And they shall be given into his hand until a time and a dividing of time. But the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion to consume and to destroy it until the end. You see, so the Lord's bringing judgment, you see, where he would destroy this last great kingdom. The fourth of the greatest kingdoms would be the Roman Empire, you see. And that's what this is going to. And then if we go back a little bit, it also says in the 19th verse, let's just start it. We're going to read 15 through 28. It says, I, Daniel, was grieved in my spirit in the midst of my body, and the visions of my head troubled me. I came near unto one of them that stood by and asked him the truth of all this. So he told me and made me know the interpretation of the things. These great beasts, which are four kings which shall rise out of the earth. So I just told you the first one was Babylon, Assyria. All right, up under King Nebuchadnezzar. And then Persia and the Medes, which were up under, I believe, King, he was Darius, I believe it was Darius. All right, and then the third king would be Alexander the Great, and the fourth king would be up under Herod, I believe it was. The second one was Cyrus, King Cyrus, I'm sorry. So the first one was Nebuchadnezzar, and then the second one was King Cyrus. I believe that's correct. And the third one would have been Alexander the Great, the Greek Empire, and the fourth one would have been during Yahushua walk on the earth up under Herod, who was over the Israelites at that time. And it says, but the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. Then would I know the truth of the fourth beast, which is diverse from all the others, exceedingly dreadful, whose teeth were of iron, and its nails of brass, which devoured, break in pieces, and stamped the residue with his feet. You see, and that's what he's doing right today. You see how he went over there recently, over there in Venezuela, and just took, their oil and everything over there. See, just went over there and took the man down in the night. Came as a thief in the night, because this devil reads the Holy Scripture, so he knows when to attack. You see, so he went over there like a thief in the night and went over there and invaded the land. You see, killing, over there shooting the boats down and killing those people, and then taking millions of dollars, trillions of dollars worth of oil over there, taking control of it, just taking it, straight out piracy. You see, and then lie to you on TV and tell you that all the people over there are happy he did it and he celebrated. Straight out lies like that. Because that's what this devil do. He's a liar and a murderer, you see. And then it says, and of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom 3 fell. So those 10 horns would be NATO. All right, the National Alliance Treaty Organization. And these are they that help this devil, to rule the earth. All right, so they're controlling parts of the world, because they have militaries all over the world. This devil has more military bases than he has sense, you see. But he has a whole bunch of military bases spread out everywhere. You see, and whenever he feels like it, he'll attack people and take what he wants. Take the gold, take the oil, you see. All of that. Take their lands and everything. Doing the same thing that Alexander the Great did, you see. And Christopher Columbus and all those people that we hear about who brought the Israelites over to what is known as America, also known as Azareth. You see. And then it says, and a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows. What it means by that is pride. You see, he had lots of pride. You see, he didn't stumble about what his intentions are. Pride so great because of the strength of his military. So he stamps the residue of the people. What that means, just run over them, you see. Pushes his will on them. And then it says, and I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints and prevailed against them. And, so the saints, we suffer. We have to suffer. And that was one of the things I wanted to go to, was that you prepare your hearts to suffer. You see, that's our job, to let you know you're going to be doing some suffering in this way. All right, wear out the saints, you see, because if you bring out this truth, you can best believe they're not going to like it. They don't want you exposing who they are. But the Lord is doing the exposing in these last days. He's brought his prophets back up. We don't know who we are from the old days, but he's brought us back up to preach this gospel and expose the things that were done in the past. And we're able to do that through reading the scriptures. You see, that's the reason why we tell you to study them, so you get to know the historical events that took place. And it says, until the Ancient of Days came and judgment was given to the saints of the Most High. And the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom. So what it's telling us that after World War III, because we're living close to that, we're going to be going through Jacob's trouble. We're going to go through this MOT device, you see, RFID device they want to put in your hands or in your forehead, as it says in Revelations, the 13th chapter. They want to put a device in your hand so they control your money, your thoughts, your body, everything. You see, make you chattel. That means you owned by the devil. So the scriptures tell you not to take it. So we want to give you a warning not to take that device, the RFID device that they say is just a piece of identity. Is way more than that. All right, that brings you into ownership of the devil. And if you take it, then you're going to be destroyed, you see. And then it says, in the 23rd verse, thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon the earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down and break it in pieces. You see, and we see him doing that. He's threatening, right now they're threatening other countries. You see, like Cuba, you see, Colombia, mostly where Jakes are. You see, mostly where the Israelites are. Those countries where they have been spread throughout the four corners of the earth. You see, so he's threatening them, and he has so much riches and money. He's going in deep, 4 or 5 deep in wars. You see, he's looking at a civil war at home. He's going to war at all these other nations as well at the same time, taking Palestinians down, Palestine down. You see, he's taking Iran down. So he's taking, going to war against Russia, between Russia and Ukraine. You see, financing that and selling them weapons to bomb his enemies. You see, Russia and China, those he considered just messing with his money, because he loved his money more than anything. You see, he loved the oil, the gold, and all of that, and he's taking what he wants. And then it says, in the 24th verse, and the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall rise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings. You see, and that's what has happened. The daughter of Babylon. That's where we're living here in 2026. And it says, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until time and times and a dividing of times. But the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion to consume and to destroy until the end. So what's going to happen there goes into some of the other prophecies of where in Zephaniah and Zechariah, where the Lord said he would gather the nations, you see, to bring judgment against them. So, and that's what we have. We have on one side the BRIC nations, on the other side we have the NATO nations, and they're at war against each other for control of the earth, what they call the New World Order, you see. So we see that happening. All these things that Daniel was saying back then are happening now, all right? And that's been a long time. That's been over thousands of years we're seeing these prophecies come to pass. And it says, and the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom of the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him. You see, so we see all of that happening. All these things that were written here in the book of Daniel, 7th chapter. All right. As Daniel was saying, all these things come to pass, that they would come to pass. And it says, hitherto is the end of the matter. As for me, Daniel, my cogitations much trouble me, and my countenance changed in me, but I kept the matter in my heart. So he was saying where we're living today. You see, the fourth kingdom, that great kingdom that would stamp out all the nations of the earth, you see. And they would become so powerful that they would take whatever they wanted to take. That's where we are today. We're watching it unfold. Now we're going to go back over to, I believe we were in Jude, I want to say around the 4th verse. And it says, let me read this and make sure that's where we left off. Yeah, that's where we were. We're going to go back to Jude, the 4th verse. It says, for there are certain men crept in unawares, who were before of old ordained to condemnation. Ungodly men turning the grace of Yahweh into lasciviousness and denying the only Lord Yahweh and our Lord Yahweh Shai. You see? So they're back today. Those same people that were doing all that wickedness back then are back today, doing all this wickedness over and over. So we're seeing a repeat of things that has happened up under these 4 beasts. All right. As I said, Babylon, Assyria, Persia, Medes, the Greeks, and also this Roman Empire that we're in today. The Lord has brought a lot of those people back, and they're repeating history. All right. And it says, and I will therefore put you in remembrance, though you once knew this, how that the Lord, having saved the people out of the land of Egypt, afterward destroyed them that believe not. So we don't want to be destroyed. All right. That's the reason why I went back over there, to show you that we're going through these things according to prophecy. You see, for those of you who may be new, who've never listened to this, so that you understand that time is repeating itself. And you can read where it tells you that. And let's just go over there and read where it tells you that as well. We're going to go over to, let's look over here and see if we can find Ecclesiastes. We're going to go to Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. We'll start there, and then we're just going to read 2 verses of that so that you can see, according to the scriptures, that these things already happened. Sodom and Gomorrah, a nation that the Lord destroyed, cities that the Lord destroyed, you see, the Babylonian empires, you see, the Egyptian empire, the Lord destroyed them, you see. And then it says here in Ecclesiastes 1 and 9, the thing that have been, it is that which shall be. See, so what's happening right now has already happened. And that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. So all these things have happened before. All right, time repeating itself. All right, and it says in the 10th verse, is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new, it have already been of old time, which was before us. That's Ecclesiastes 1, 9, and 10. So we're going through things that have already happened. Some of these same devils, the Lord's risen back up to bring them into condemnation. All right. And some of us, he's raised back up to save us, as he promised to do to Abraham and Isaac and Jacob's seed line. So that's the reason why we are here. Some of us probably were apostles and disciples, or some of us may have been prophets back in the old days. See, we don't know who we are because it just told you there in Ecclesiastes 1, 9, and 10. You see, so the Lord just put us back here to bring in this last kingdom, to bring us into this kingdom of pure judgment. See, shall these bones live? Lord, thou knowest. See, so he put you in your lot, let you die off, and then put your spirit back in you in another body, so that you have to deal with this fire that's coming. So we're headed toward World War III. So we have to prophesy these things and give you a warning. You see, the Holy Scriptures say the first woe and the second woe has passed, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. It's talking about World War I, World War II, and World War III. You see, and we're coming back into those days. And it says in the 6th verse, this is Jude 1 and 6, and the angels which kept not their first estate, but left their own habitation, he hath reserved in everlasting chains under darkness until the judgment of the great day. You see, so Lord's bringing judgment. You see, even on the angels, you see, on men, you see. Could it be that Saul may have been one of those, King Saul, possibly? He has to stand and come into judgment to this great day, you see. Daniel, all these evil, wicked men that did wickedly, you see. They all have to face this condemnation of this fire, you see. And then it goes on to say, even as Sodom and Gomorrah and the cities about them in like manner, giving themselves over to fornication and going after strange flesh, are set forth for an example, suffering the vengeance of eternal fire. You see, they already done Lord already burnt them out. So we should be learning from that. You see, we should learn from that. Lord burnt them out. Set those cities on fire. And then it goes and says, likewise, also these filthy dreamers defile the flesh, despise dominion, and speak evil of dignities. You see, they'll even come up and say, oh, we don't believe Paul was this and Paul was that, scoffing and mocking. Oh, we don't believe John the Baptist was this, he was that, he did this and he did that, scoffing and mocking. They don't believe the Holy Scriptures. We don't think that's what it meant. It means exactly what it says, you see. Now, some of the scriptures are written in code, and you have to study it through the Paleo-Hebrew to know what it's talking about instead of the historical events behind it. But what the Lord has written is true. All right, and then it goes on to say here in the 10th verse, yet Michael, the archangel, when contending with the devil, he disputed about the body of Moses, does not bring against him a railing accusation, but said, the Lord rebuked thee. And that's what we're doing. We're going to rebuke these devils. That's what he told us to do. He said, rebuke the devil and he will flee from you. So we're rebuking you guys. You see, that don't believe all these wayward camps. You are scoffing and mockers. You whore houses in Christianity and Baptists, and you in all these different religions. You see, it's only one, and that's the Israelites. But you got the Christians, you got the Roman Catholics, you got the Presbyterians, you got the Baptists, you got the Muslims, you got Buddha, you got the India over there serving animals, a cow. You see, I don't know what they call. They got so many of them. You got 35,000 different religions. Some serving the sun, some serving the moon, some serving the Roman gods, Janus and all these other gods, Bacchus, you see, doing all kind of wickedness. You see, that's what we're talking about. You're up under that wine of the devil. And it says, but these speak evil of those things which they know not, but what they know naturally as brute beasts, in those things they corrupt themselves. So they're corrupted because they are not truly seeking the Lord Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. So the Lord turned them over, you see, to a mind to not believe. You see? And they're going to be destroyed. Some have been already chosen to be destroyed because they're not going to believe. You see? Then you're going to have those that are going to be saved, that are chosen to be saved, the Israelites. But all these nations that are coming up with all these false gods are going to be destroyed. You see, because they won't hear what thus saith the Lord. They're not going to read the Holy Scriptures. They don't care. The only thing they care about is the love of that money. And what you teach them, when you try to teach them the truth, they'll hate you for bringing it out. You know, they'll come up on the streets, grab your signs and throw your signs around, cursing you out and all of that. You see, we have that. We've had people pull guns on us and all of that, you see. Have people in high places coming against us. You see, wanting to kill us. All of that. And then it goes on to say in the 11th verse, woe unto them, for they have gone in the way of Cain and ran greedily after the error of Balaam for a reward. So they taking the 501c3, getting the tax write-offs, got the people paying them, you know, passing the paying them so they can get rich. You see, some of them got so much money they can't, they're trying to hide it in the walls like Joel. So trying to hide his money in the walls and stuff. You see? And it says, and perished in the gainsayings of Korah. They are spots in your feast of charity, when they feast with you, feeding themselves without fear. You see? So they're feeding themselves, taking your money, knowing that you having itching ears, so they speak to you smooth things. They're not going to bring out the lamentations that's written in the Holy Scriptures, you see, of the suffering that you are going to have to do. Some of you may be killed for this. But see, the Lord will give you a mindset when you trust in Him, where you're not really bothered about what's going to happen with the body. You see, you don't really care about that because there's no death when you're in Yahweh Shai and He in you. There's no death there. So you don't care. You know, if they kill you, so be it. You're not put out by that. You're not sitting in fear of that. What you're sitting in fear of is the Most High. Job 28:28. The fear of the Lord is wisdom. Who is the Lord? Yahweh Shai. See, it tells you, I didn't come to bring peace but a sword. So He's coming in with a sword to destroy. See, the fear of the Lord is wisdom. Yahweh Shai is that wisdom. You should have fear of that. Yahweh Shai is wisdom. He was one of the creators of the heavens and earth from the beginning of time. You see, one of the creators from the beginning of time, Yahweh Shai. So you should fear Yahweh Shai. All right, the fear of the Lord is wisdom, and to depart from evil is understanding. That's Job 28:28. All right, and it says, these are spots in your feasts of charity, when they feast with you, feeding themselves without fear. Clouds they are without waters, carried about of winds. Trees whose fruit wherewith, without fruit, thrice dead, plucked up by the roots. You see? They're no good. They're trash. All right? It's like you plucked up vegetables out of the ground, you leave them laying there. Eventually, they just wither away. It says, raging waves of the sea, foaming out their own shame. Wandering stars, to whom is reserved the blackness of darkness forever. See? So the Lord said, I'm going to destroy these people. When He destroy them, then, you know, after World War III, then they got to go into slavery. That's what's appointed to Esau, to rebuild the kingdom. After 1,000 years, then the Lord's going to destroy him. You see, according to the book of Obadiah. All right. So that's the reason why I said they are reserved, to whom is reserved the blackness of darkness forever. You see, because the Lord is going to destroy them forever. Going to get rid of them. You see, because they stood in their pride. They didn't believe. They didn't have any faith. They took the money, took the bag. I'll take the bag. Give me $1 trillion and they can have it. I don't care about the gospel. That's their mindset. That's the wicked's mindset. You see? And it says that Enoch also, the seventh from Adam, prophesied of these, saying, behold, the Lord cometh with 10,000 of his saints. You see? 10,000. You see, the Lord's going to bring the saints out, back up, bring those angels, Michael and the archangels and his armies, and destroy this place. You see, in a twinkle of an eye, some of you are going to go into the chariots, 144,000, hopefully elect. And it says in the 15th verse, to execute judgment upon all and to convince all that are ungodly among them of all their ungodly deeds which they have ungodly committed, and of all their hard speeches which ungodly sinners have spoken against him. So you see, so they speak against the Prince of Peace, Yahweh Shai. All right. So the Lord is going to bring peace to the saints, and he's going to bring a sword to the wicked. And they're going to be destroyed. Yahweh bringing that fire. See, making these things happen, all these prophecies happening, because Yahweh is his word. All right. And then it says, these are murmurers, complainers, walking after their own lusts, and their mouth speaketh great swelling words, having men's persons in admiration because of advantage. You see, they have advantage because of their riches and their wealth and their militaries. You see, because the Lord gave the sword to Esau. That was his blessing, that he would live by the sword. And that's what he does. You see, he was created to be the wicked of the earth. You see, but it's all by Yahweh's design. You see, because Yahweh created good and evil. He created the smith, you see, that to bring about nuclear weapons. You see, the Holy Scriptures tell you that. You see, he created light and he created darkness. Everything was created by Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, and those angels. They all built this whole thing out, all these stars, what you call planets and so forth. We can't even see all of that. But the Lord sees it. He knows what he's created, and he knows what he's going to give to you. You see, that's the reason why the Holy Scripture says, ears have not heard, nor have eyes seen that which the Lord have created for them that love him. You see? So we need to love the Lord, because you don't know what the Lord is going to show you. When he raise you back up and give you those immortal bodies, man, if you have faith and believe, man, you have no idea what the Lord have reserved for you. Everlasting life, immortality, children, you see. You may rule some of these planets out there, you see. You may have a whole planet full of children. We don't know what the Lord's going to bring forth. Could be many great things. You may walk you walk in the dust, you may have gold at your feet everywhere, you see. And the Lord will be your light. You won't have need for physical lights. You won't be subject to payments every month. You know, got to pay the car bill, can't afford to pay for food for your children, because when the wicked rule, the people mourn. You see, the wicked are ruling. What are the people doing? They mourning, cutting out the benefits. You got to pay for this, you got to pay for that, you got to pay for insurance, the car note, to get to work. You got to pay for lunch. You see, in the new heavens and the new earth, you're not going to pay for any of that. You see, in the new heavens and new earth, all that's going to be a given. You see, not going to pay for any of that. That's how the Lord's going to make things happen for you, those that serve him and that love him. You see, and that believe, that's doing the work, and you have faith. You're living peacefully with all men to the best of your ability, and you loving your brothers and sisters in the Lord, the Israelites, preferring one another, showing love to one another. That's what the Lord told us to do. All right, that's what we're supposed to be doing. But we have to learn how to be obedient. All right, got to learn how to give your bread up. See, the Lord has to teach you how to love one another. All right, we got to stay out of sin. All right, and you know what that is: lying, murdering, stealing, being whores and thoughts and pimps. All right, Lord, the Lord's not dealing with people that's doing all of that. All right, being lesbians and homosexuals and all of that. You can't have friendship with the world and do all of that and serve Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. All right, so we're going to tell you, we're going to blow that trumpet at you, because we're living in the last days, and we're going to give you a warning that you're near that time where the Lord is going to bring out World War III. He's going to burn these devils out, and you don't want to be counted in that number. Giving you a warning. Live holy, be righteous, and repent. All right? Now we're going to stop there. Hopefully this lesson was a blessing to the elect of Israel. All right, 144,000 of the tabernacle of David. The Lord gave a promise to you. All right, hopefully you will hear. He that have an ear, let him hear what the Spirit is saying to the churches. All right, where there are 2 or 3 gathered in my name, that's where I will be. All right, the Lord's not dealing, the Lord is not in buildings made with hands. The Lord is a spirit. And they that worship him must worship him in truth and in spirit. And we're going to stop there and give our honor, our praise, and our glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Yakakwadash. Live holy. All right, we gave you the warning. We're blowing the trumpet. All right, showing you the prophecies. And then you know that you're living in the last days. Shalom. Again, shalom to the head apostles, elder bishops of Great Millstone. Shalom and a Bible ball.